What's up, everyone? I'm sure you saw my mouth moving and you couldn't hear anything. I forgot to turn the audio on here. We're now take 3, basically, is what we're doing here. Although some of you may not know this if you're listening to our podcast, but if you tried to watch us live, you would know exactly what happened. And we're going to try and work things out here and hopefully no more interruptions as we do this. Let's try this out. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
Towards the near post, the flick, and it's in. Darwin Jones with the response for Orange County. And it is a massive one. Austin Bold dominant in the last 10.
Forrester in the middle now, gets around a few defenders. Forrester with the outside right foot. What a strike by Harry Forrester. It's the opening goal for Orange County. He's looking for you. Heads it down, back post. Opportunity and a goal. A beautiful goal by Orange County.
This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black SoccerCast.
I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, I am actually with you each and every week. So blessings and health to all of our listeners.
And by the way, I was just speaking there without any volume again, but I turned it on right in time for Dylan. So Dylan is the first voice of this. Welcome to the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
Wow, you are getting fired.
Presented by Ruffneck, Scarves, and Icarus FC. Covering his face because he's totally embarrassed. You can see the redness going on there. We've got Alan in San Diego. Alan, our mic is on. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm just gonna do this. No, things are going pretty well. Wife kind of winged dinner tonight and it was amazing. So I'm in a good mood. I'm full and a nice little glass of wine. I can't see anymore because I turned off my lights.
So I basically ruined that good mood that you had been on from dinner, and now it's a pretty crappy mood, I guess.
No, I'm just pretending I'm in the witness protection program.
You got to change your voice then, buddy.
You can do that in post. That'd be great.
Yeah, this is ruining my public image, so I think I might want to join Alan and just be invisible now. I'm going to change my name really quick to a fake name.
Hey, you know what? We're allowed to have mistakes every so often. I actually was sort of rushed, not rushed, but I had stuff that I was taking care of right before we got set up to go live. We were going to try out a new look for our podcast. It worked. What it was the count on that, Alan? Like 1 minute and 57 seconds or something?
1 minute and 44. It says 44 seconds.
Something like that. And then it collapsed on us. So now we're trying this out again with our normal classic look for the podcast, at least for now. We'll figure out how things go as we go through this. Luckily, the season hasn't started yet. There's not a lot to talk about when it comes to Orange County Soccer Club or the USL, even though there's a little bit of news that has come out earlier today. So we'll walk through that. We'll also explain what we're doing for Playing for Pride this year. Because of the change, we can't do what we did last year, which was pretty fun. Dylan loved it. And then we'll get into some other stuff to talk about before we wrap things up. So this will probably be a quick little 30-minute episode. Let's get right into it. First bit of news that we have, if you follow the USL Championship on social media, they basically teased that all this week at sometime between 12 and 2, I believe Eastern time, they're going to make announcements regarding the return to play plan and the season. The first announcement was, I believe today, they announced that they will be doing 5 subs per match, sort of like what we're seeing around the soccer world, except for, I think USL is a little bit differently. They're not requiring it to be on 3 instances. I think other leagues have said you can have 5 subs, but you have to do it during 3 sub breaks or whatever. You can't like actually sub 5 people at different times in the match. Am I correct on the way I've read that, Alan or Dylan? I'll go to Alan first since his mic's on.
I have seen the opposite, that they are using those 3 windows.
Oh, they are. Okay.
And halftime isn't one of them, so you can make substitutes at like 4 different times. And it's essentially like you can only have 3 subs. So you can only stop the game for a sub 3 times. You can just sub in 5 players. So that would be, I saw it on like a recap of Rick Schant's interview, I think. Because that would make sense. It's in line with what most leagues are doing.
So I was totally wrong, except for the fact that we have 5 subs.
Yeah, and I might be mistaken. It was a recap of an interview from a head coach. So the person might have spoken incorrectly, but that was my understanding, was that the 3 subs or the 5 subs are 3 windows and halftime doesn't count. But I can look that up right now.
While you look that up, Dylan, what are your thoughts on that of having 5 subs in a match, and how is that going to maybe impact either negatively or positively the matches if and when play actually does resume?
It's not going to negatively impact the matches at all. It's a really positive step. You can't make a season that takes 7 months take 3 or 4 months and assume that guys are going to be able to play 90 minutes and you could use 14 players. I like the 5 subs, and I really like the having to do it in 3 sections. I think that opens up a nice little tactical can of worms for managers to deal with. I would honestly love if we played like this for the rest of time, because games are a lot more interesting when you can sub a guy on and he's got fresh legs, and basically you could sub out your entire midfield and have a bunch of fresh legs, and it means you're not going to have like an 80th minute dudes are walking around because it's 100 degrees outside and they're tired and they played 2 games already this week. So I'm a fan of it, honestly.
Yeah, we've seen the increase in injuries, leagues who have come back already, and that's with the 5 subs. So again, it's not so much, it's more for player safety than like coolness, I guess. But even with 5 subs, like your guys are because they're trying to push too fast. According to the USL website, 3 substitution rule, blah blah blah. Team will only have 3 opportunities to make all of its allotted 5 substitutions, and halftime doesn't count. So technically, it's 4.
But and who knows if coaches will take advantage of a full 5 rotation in matches. We've seen in leagues that have implemented this, some managers have decided they want to use all 5 subs. Some have decided to sort of stick to the more traditional route of doing 2 or 3 subs in a match. So we'll see how that goes. I agree with you, Dylan. It's not going to negatively impact anything as far as the play. I guess maybe unless you're a traditionalist of classic soccer rules and stuff like that, because there was always people upset about little changes in the rules. I know a lot of people outside of the US sort of gave US a hard time when MLS was trying all these weird rules back in, I think, like the 90s or the early 2000s, whenever those funky rules were going on. So we'll see. I think it's good in this aspect, at least for this scenario, because like you said, Dylan, there's going to be a lack of fitness for a lot of these players. And you want to be able to still see the most competitive soccer out there on the pitch. And in doing this, you're going to be able to see that because you're going to have a lot of fresh legs that are able to come on throughout the match.
The other thing that this does is makes teams like Phoenix very, very well off. More so than they are 2 teams. Best players, a deep bench of guys who could start on any top team in the league. Guys like Contour, guys like Jordan Schweitzer. These guys they could all start and play important roles on top teams. And now they'll play basically every game. Teams like RGV or Colorado Springs are going to suffer because they don't have the funds and they really don't have the team depth there. A nice thing for Orange County, looking just at our club, is that it gives a lot of kids that we have, because we have some sort of orphanage for children with living parents and great physical abilities and technical skills or something going on here. But it gives all of these kids a chance to maybe play 20 or 30 minutes twice a week.
That's a mouthful of a university of
Well, I think they
orphan
probably
kids
all have
who
parents.
have parents. How
I
is
do
that?
believe Mr. Malone's parents.
OKWHLP.
Someone
That's
write it
just a-
down and put it. You can email it to us.
That's a t-shirt. I think that's where the 5 subs come into play with some of that rotation. Some deeper teams might only want to use 3 subs because they're going to run the guys out 90 and then they'll have a whole 2 games off. And so I think it does add a little bit of gamesmanship between some of those clubs, because I'm sure even on those teams like Phoenix who are deeper, those guys still want to play. So it's going to be balancing number of minutes, because you saw Solomon Asante kind of drop off at the end of the year, and it really hurt their team. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll have to. The 5 rule is great. I'd like to see it used well and efficiently, and that's where it's going to balance out some of those inequalities.
And I know I said that this is sort of like the first announcement. I apologize, because I believe yesterday the league also announced that they were going to be lifting the training moratorium.
Good job.
Great job by me trying to read a big word on Wednesday. So basically tomorrow, right? If you're listening to this live or if you're listening to the podcast, it's probably happened already. So clubs will be able to return to full squad training beginning tomorrow, Wednesday, June 24th. The league has also stated, though, that it has to sort of fall in line with state and local health authorities and, get approval, I guess, from the USL headquarters before they can resume. So I'm going to assume I don't know what the rule is yet in Orange County and or California at this point. So I don't know if Orange County will be able to start or resume back to training. Dylan, have you heard anything, or do you know anything on the status of Orange County's chances of returning to practice?
I haven't, but we don't have a public health director in this county, so
just do what you want.
I mean, that's kind of what it's been here, in every aspect of life, and I don't think they're going to come down on a sports team. There's also no punishment from the state for not following guidelines at the moment.
And I think
we've all known, because we all live here. So...
And I think we know with the sheriff of Orange County has already stated he's not going to enforce the mask order that Governor Newsom has set statewide. So we know sort of what happens here in Orange County, right?
Yeah, he's too busy taking care of corruption in his own department. But that's a different podcast. There's probably a joke in there that I don't feel like saying. You missed the biggest and the best news of all, which is that the Players Association and the league reached a formal agreement on the 19th. So there's an agreement in place, which means all of these plans will actually result in players playing, for better or for worse.
They're all like legit type plans.
It's not just, we have a date and we're going to play. It's we have a date and we're going to play, and the players are on board with it too, which is the best news, and hopefully means that there are a lot of player protections. Because I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but recently, the last few months, there's been a pandemic.
What?
Yeah, so guys who are making
news
a year probably, I'm hoping, are a little bit more protected now from contracting a rather serious illness.
Ooh. So basically what is happening then throughout the week. So we know now the substitution rule, 5 subs per match. On Wednesday, we're going to hear we're going to learn what the season and playoff structure and also the health and safety protocol is going to be for the season. And then Thursday and Friday, we're going to get an unveiling of the alignment of the USL with these changes, with the shortened season, condensed season, whatever we want to call it. Alan,
Yep.
which of these bits of news, including today's, are you the most excited about?
The alignment, which leads me to believe that it's not going to be straight West Coast, East Coast. Obviously, if they're teasing two separate announcements, it will probably be East Coast, West Coast in style, like halves, and then differentiating of alignment in those conferences. Because I would happen to guess that if they're saying alignment, it's not going to be like, oh, we're just going to do East versus West. So I am the most excited to see kind of how they decided to not travel as much and to keep teams as local as possible in their home markets. So I'm curious to see how they divvied it up, whether it's 2 or 4 per conference, and who they put in each of those conferences, because has huge implications on if you are going to make a play-in for a tournament, because you might get stuck with 2 other really good teams in a 4 conference, or 3 other really good teams in a 6 conference. So who knows? That's what I'm excited about, see the line and who.
Cool. Anything else
Cool.
anything else you want to share on this, Dylan?
Yeah, I
Horse
really
pain.
hope players stay out of bars. We'll make some more jokes on this topic later, but seriously. Also, probably won't be in the stadium, I'm just guessing.
You think it'll just be like a closed matches at one of the fields, is what you're anticipating?
I think they'll still have to be in a stadium. I don't think they can get away with that kind of Steel 2. Sorry. What do they call it? Union 2, formerly Bethlehem Steel. Rest in peace. But yeah, I can't imagine how they could let people in as cases spike here in Arizona and Florida, and basically everywhere that there's people.
And that can lead to a whole new topic then, is the financial stability then of this of the league with this season, the way it looks like it may play out, with some teams maybe able to have fans in the stands and others restricted because of guidelines in their local areas. Because I think, what was it, on our anniversary show, we were talking to Harry out there in San Antonio, and he mentioned that they are approved to have like 5,000 fans at matches or something like that at this point, or something in the thousands. So be interesting to see how that plays out around the league as well.
Thankfully, on the financial side of
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay, I was gonna say, thankfully, on the financial side of things, the league has announced that clubs will be getting not parachute payments per se, but they'll be getting an amount of money based on league dues, and to try and cut that loss. So Keston's already said that he's in for the long run, which is good, and hopefully that's sustainable as we return to play. And I think returning to play is a big part of that. But I would, even though we don't get the crowds, I would be amazed if we could get 50% of what we normally did without some serious logistical issues.
Definitely.
Also, it
last thought, Alan?
No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Dylan. Finish your stuff. Finish
No, go ahead.
what you gotta say.
Okay.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Much like it takes one jerk to throw a beer can on a field in places like, well, anywhere but here, apparently. It just takes one jerk to spit at a player and everything gets shut down. So maybe it's like good if we just don't have fans, or have them like really far away.
One jerk to like cough on a baby or something like that while they're getting yogurt.
That's a relevant
Alan,
topical. Good one.
Yeah,
Alan,
I know.
What about you?
I know Louisville just put out something they're stating about getting in and out and safety, and even that, like, that's a lot. And it's like suggested arrival times, and it had a lot to it, and it still doesn't quite feel like it's enough. So it's one, even if you had fans able to go, would there even be enough to necessitate like hiring a bunch of extra people? Because if you don't have to hire food vendors and all of those other things for it gets to a point where it's if there's not enough people, it costs more money. So I don't know, maybe teams are hoping going into it by August, September, maybe in October we can start having fans. That's maybe the guess is you start open and then you kind of go from there. Yeah, I don't know if I would go if it was open to the public. I would have to see where we were and where the San Diego was and where Orange County was. And right now, the way Orange County is going, I don't want to drive up there. So, watching it on ESPN Plus.
Alan, when they reopen the season, we're going to do a live pregame show right in front of everyone, and you're contractually obligated to be there. So hope to see you there. Just kidding, by the way. Just kidding. We're not going to do that. Anyone that knows Dylan, Alan, myself, we're not going to go do something like that with everything going on. Although if it was a normal world, we definitely would love to do it. But in this instance, we have to sort of be mindful of what's going on. Let's move on then. If you haven't been checking your calendar, we're well into getting toward the end of June, which is Pride Month. And typically in the month of June for us, there's soccer going on, and we're able to sort of set up some sort of way to, and they're chatting and I'm getting distracted now. But usually there's some way for us to set up a way for us to have a fun game to donate to Playing for Pride. Unfortunately, with no soccer, we can't do that. So I believe it was Alan that came up with a unique idea that we can do. Yeah, go ahead and explain, Alan, since this is your pet right now. So what's going on?
Yeah. So last year we did a draft of some players from the team and played fantasy soccer almost with the games in June and the losers had to donate to Playing for Pride. But since games won't start July 11th, and then you might get a couple games, we decided to amplify women's sports, but also use it to do some Playing for Pride donations. And we're going to do a NWSL Challenge Cup draft and fantasy. And basically, there are some points for winning, drawing, holding a clean sheet, scoring 3 or more goals. There's some negative points for allowing more than 3 goals, and then some points for the playoffs. And there's 9 teams. We're going to do each blindly drew 3, kind of like the MLS did, where they had people just choose numbers and they got whatever they got. But since there are only 8 left, Orlando Pride, we are going still do a blind draft. So 2 teams will be left on the table. And my argument will be those 2 teams will be thrown in. And if those 2 teams beat all 3 of us, we all have to donate.
Okay.
Because we're picking 2 and we'll leave 2. So it's, if you have the highest, you win. And if none of us win, we all have to donate. We didn't get the winning teams.
It's going to be those last 2 teams that end up in the final.
Yep. So
and I think we sort of to make it fair to Dylan, we're doing a blind draft or just sort of picking, because Dylan is not really good at fantasy
drafting
sports, apparently, as we've learned from last year.
I got the worst option. I picked second, so I never got to pick 2 at a time, which is the worst possible situation.
We got to go look back at the draft board for that draft, because I think you made some pretty awful picks. I
picked Carlos Lopez Cortez at one point. Liam Trotter.
That answers my question there.
A month later. Yeah, good stuff all around.
All right. So what's going on, Alan? Are we going to let Dylan go first then?
We have 8 teams. My wife scrambled them, so I have no idea what's behind this. She put numbers on top. So what we're going to do is we'll each take turns picking. And I will pull the number and we'll show you what team you got. And sure, we can let Dylan go first. So Dylan, what number do you choose?
Are these numbers 1 through 8? Oh, Alan's frozen. All right.
This is just a fun technical issue night, right?
The numbers are 1
yes,
through 8.
these are numbers 1 through 8.
Oh,
What's that?
Oh,
Sorry, I froze. What happened?
the numbers are 1 through 8. Yes.
Yes, correct. 1 through 8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the other.
6.
6. So that's right here. 6
Okay.
is Utah Royals Football Club. Utah
dope
Royals Football Club is currently from William Hill Sportsbook. They have a 7-1 chance to win, and they are the 4th favorite to win. So I'm going to put.
That's a pretty good pick, Dylan. With the first
All right.
pick.
Ray, what do you got?
Wait. I won last year, right?
I think so. So do
No.
I get to pick?
Playing for Pride
you
won
go?
last year.
Playing
because
for
we
Pride.
donated
Yes,
over
yes.
$100.
I'm going to go 3.
Go, Alan.
I'm going to go 3. So 3. And I got the Houston Dash. The
My
Houston
thoughts and prayers
Dash.
are with you at this time.
Houston Dash is the 13-1 favorite, and they are the 7th favorite to win the Challenge Cup. All right, Ray.
I don't even remember what numbers are left, but I'm going to go 7.
1, 2, 4. Okay, 7.
Fingers crossed right here. Fingers crossed.
7.
That's the
Yes.
Pride.
It is. Pride isn't on there, unfortunately. It is Sky Blue FC.
Oh,
Sky Blue FC.
We're
is
all
currently-
donating. We're all donating, man.
Sky Blue FC is currently 30-1. And they are the
I like a
least,
good underdog. I like a good underdog.
They are the underdogs. All right.
Ray, I would like to quickly ask: are you a fan of underdog? Are you fans of teams that are 500-1 to win things? Because I feel like you might have a bad history with stuff like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Leicester?
All right. So does it go? Are we going reverse order? Ray, me, Dylan, or does it matter?
But I'd love to
Ray, go ahead.
sort of.
Ray, go ahead.
I'd love to stay towards. I'd love to get the top seed now here to sort of balance things out. I'm going to go number 2.
Number 2.
Close the door and wash your hands.
Number 2 is the favorite North Carolina Courage.
Yikes.
Ooh, look at that! I got top and bottom of the odds. I like that.
They are currently 3-2 to win it all. Although, depending on who shows up or who doesn't, these things might change. Right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm going to go 8. I don't think
Washington.
Sarah knows who these teams are. So number 8 is the Chicago Red Stars.
Ooh, Dylan, you got
Chicago Red
screwed again
Stars
this year.
are a dope kit. And Red Stars are 7-2 to win. They are the 2nd favorite. So much like Ray, I got the second to last and the 2nd favorite. And now Dylan, if
So
things
Dylan's gonna get the
told true, Dylan
yeah.
should get the Olympic Lyonnais reign. So Dylan,
Those are the 2 numbers that are left, correct?
1, 4, and
There's-
5.
I wanted 9. That was the whole reason I guess 6 was so I could do 6 and 9. I'm
There is no
5
9.
years old.
Then
I've
give him
been
Orlando.
robbed.
If he wants 9, he can
5.
have Orlando.
5.
I love that you're like proving that you're picking the right number.
I
5
actually
is
appreciate
official.
the transparency.
The Washington Spirit. The Washington Spirit is currently 9-1 to win, and they are the 6th favorite, which means
Your team looks like last year, Dylan. Basically, is what we're saying here.
Olympic Lyonnais.
And Portland.
Yeah, wow.
And number 1, Portland Thorns.
All right.
The
All
best
right.
kit
All right.
in the
All
league.
right.
Really, the toss up between Utah and Portland with that one, the best kit. But the in a matter of 3 months, we went from city names and neighborhood names on a kit to being like from being really cool to very dated and no longer cool.
So there we go.
That's
Okay.
Chicago's kit is just like the Phoenix one. That was cool. Or like the Ford Madison one.
And thank you for Sarah for donating the post-it notes to tonight's activity and being willing to randomize them.
Thank you, some random law office in San Diego.
So basically, I should get my celebration ready for this already because we know I'm going to win this, right?
Don't forget there are negative points for giving up goals.
I got faith in Sky Blue. I mean, I got total faith.
Well, if you want to have faith in the Courage, they play just at 7 p.m. Pacific against my Washington Spirit on Twitch. If you have access to an international feed, like you're not in this country of the United States, or CBS All Access, which is like $6 and or $12, depending on how good you are at timing things. So ask Alan if you need help with that one.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the lowdown on those skills. Other than that, your two teams, North Carolina Courage and Sky Blue, play each other on July 13th, also at 7 p.m. Pacific. Oh, and they also play the Red Stars July 5th at 9:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So probably don't drink for that one.
Why not?
Okay.
I guess you could do whatever you want, Alan.
A mimosa, a nice tequila sunrise.
Ooh.
All right. Well, in the end, this is all for a good cause. We're having fun to help find a way to donate some money to Playing for Pride. We're not the only ones that can donate. Anyone can. So if you're interested in donating to Playing for Pride, do so. I'm sure Dylan has like the instructions on how to do this, right, Dylan?
If we can't figure that out ourselves, or?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
You know me with technology today. I can't get it to work properly, so probably better for you to check it out.
Technology and nuclear
Technology.
weapons. Yeah, you can just go to playingforpride.org. It's that simple.
Simple as that. Simple as that. And you can donate to that great cause. And yeah, let's help raise money. I mean, it's a difficult year for everything. And in this instance, there's a lot of donations that come from Playing for Pride based off of soccer stats and stuff like that. So without the soccer actually being played for the most part in the month of June, unique ways of doing it, like what Alan created for us.
Alan, thank you. Playing for Pride's goal is to raise $7,000 in the month of June. Help us get there. I have no doubts that we can get that. My hope is that we exceed that by $3,000 and hit a nice, wonderful $10,000.
Like when you say we, like me, you, and Alan?
Yes, all three of us. I'm suddenly going to find a job, and then I'll make it rain. But it's for a good cause, so there's no reason you shouldn't.
Perfect. Let's do this. Is there anything else we want to talk about soccer related before we move on to random thoughts?
Go check out Can We Kick It? Mark.
Yes, we can.
It's the guys from River City 93. They're doing a different style of podcast, and I listened to the first one, and it was very good. It was about, why can't I think of his name right now? DeMarcus Beasley. So they are a good group of guys, and they are starting a new podcast about Black soccer players, both current and historical. So check it out. It's kind of a fun little history lesson on players who don't always get the limelight. Like, people might not know that DeMarcus Beasley scored goals in the Champions League and played for Rangers. And was very important in their play. So there's a lot of information about him. Like I don't want to spoil it, but there's some tidbits of his time with Rangers and a very fun story involving mobile that you should check out. So take a listen. It's called Can I Kick It? And it's on all of your podcast playing apps.
Cool. That's my word for the day. Cool. Dylan, any soccer stuff you want to talk about before we move on?
Just hoping all of our players are safe and all of the players in the league are safe as we head into the next 20 odd days. And I'm hoping it's a good and a competitive and healthy and fair season. I don't know what's to come of this, but I hope everyone's safe. And hopefully if we're all safe, we can see some of you at a match sometime. So that's my big random thought about soccer.
Awesome. Cool. Let's move on to our random thoughts of the evening. I'm going to go to you first, Mr. Allen, because you're thinking really hard about a random thought while you stretch your neck. Go for it.
I don't really have one. It's been a interesting couple weeks. I got nothing. I got nothing.
The most random of random thoughts there. Dylan, what about you?
There's a poem called Ode to the Head Nod by Elizabeth Acevedo. It's very good. It's very short. Go read it.
What is short in your mind, though, Dylan? Is short like 100 pages?
A
in like a
haiku.
book, yeah, sure. This is 9 couplet. It's 10 couplets, 20 lines. It's short. 2 of the lines are in total 3 words. Poets.org/poem/ode-head-nod. That's where you can find it, and it's really good, and enjoy it. You can DM me or email us your thoughts, because what else are you going to do right now?
Perfect. Random thought for me. Many of you that have been listening to this podcast from time to time, you hear me talk about my past when I used to cover the Clippers, a basketball team in LA. I actually started podcasting, doing my own Clipper thing for about 8 episodes before the opportunity to do this podcast became available to me. And I decided to dedicate some full time to Orange County Soccer Club as podcast. Now that I've sort of figured things out, even though after this episode, I don't quite know if I have figured out how to do a podcast thing. But I'm planning to resurrect my old Clippers podcast. It was called It's Hip to Clip. I'm working on getting a couple additional people to join me in that, because ultimately when I did that, it was just me. Someone that does the San Diego podcast with Alan is potentially or more than likely going to join me for that. And whoever else I can get on board will do that. So if you like more than just soccer, you want to hear my voice and talking about basketball, look forward to that coming in probably the next month or so. That'll be launching. Again, it's Hip to Clip. You can go back and listen to my old stuff if you really want to. So, yes, I'm forcing my way out, Dylan. That's what I'm doing. You guys got to, when we end this podcast, you guys can talk honestly with me. If you guys are really trying to boot me out of this podcast, just let me know. I'll do it if you need me to, Dylan.
Who are we going to make fun of? We'll have to bring Cameron onto the show, and then no one's going to listen because it's just be. Welcome to the White Teeth SoccerCast. Yeah, welcome to the dental health.
Ding-a-ling, ding,
cast.
ding, ding, ding. Oh, Dylan won. I thought it was whoever was going to go the longest with the annoying noise. That's going to wrap things up for this for this podcast. Let me go to you, Alan. How can our listeners hear or read more of your thoughts?
Underwood48 on the Twitter machine.
Way to sing it. Dylan, you got to sing it too.
You can find me on Twitter and Reddit at OZSE_Dylan. Money, please.
I have no idea what's going on now. I've just lost it. You can find me on Twitter at DJ Ray Samora. You can also find the podcast on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast. You can find the Facebook, Pinterest, Twitch. Not Mixer, though. Mixer's going away, so don't look for us on Mixer. Go to our website, OCSCpodcast.com, to listen to any of our old episodes or read any of our old stuff. Before we go to the outro, I'm going to go to you, Alan. You can let our listeners about some cool jersey design options if people are really interested or really need something that looks unique and not like what everyone else is wearing. Where can they go?
They can for sure go to IcarusFC. It's a great little website, and I'm trying to find their ad read right now, and I can't find it, but it's something like, tired of the same old cookie cutter kits by Nike and Adidas? Looking for a unique, completely custom kit for your youth club, Sunday league squad, adult, or even pro team? Icarus FC can help you create the custom kit of your dreams at an affordable price. Let them help you design your new custom kit today at IcarusFC.com. That's IcarusFC.com.
I love it when there's like a little like stutter or freeze in the middle of a word, and then it doesn't come out as the full word there. But thank you very much for that, Alan. I tried to give you some time. I don't know if you noticed, I was trying to stretch my hand over to you because I gave it to you a little earlier than normal. I want to thank all of our listeners for listening each and every episode, especially listening to this episode. If you made it all the way through, you win a prize. You've made it to the next level of podcasting craziness. For Dylan, for Alan, this is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.
You have been listening to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. For the latest Orange County SC news and information, visit our website, OCSCpodcast.com. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Ruffneck Scarves, official scarf supplier to MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at ruffneckscarves.com.